They're the worst.
They're the worst.
Hello, and welcome to episode 7 of Reboot or Deboot. As always, I'm Noah Davis.
I'm John Pina.
And we're here to talk to you about Scarface 1932, directed by Howard Hawks and written by a group of guys who, one did the story, and 3 of them did continuity and dialogue, whatever that means. I don't know. Big picture.
Mids.
Yeah.
AF.
Yeah. I hate to agree, but I totally agree. I don't love, mids, but mids.
In a phrase of its time, I think we floated around.
Yeah, definitely of its time. I mean, I sent it to you, the epitome of its time. A lot of my complaints might just be of its time, whereas I don't have many compliments to counteract that at all in any way, shape, or form. I have some positives, but there's just not a lot to grasp here. Not a lot of pulp in the juice. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, juice in the pulp?
No, pulp in the juice. I need pulp.
Oh, you need the pulp.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had it backwards. That's my B.
Duh. Yeah.
Specifics?
Sure. Yeah. Positives.
Oh,
I'll start with the
I was like,
positives.
waiting on you.
I enjoyed some of the shots they did, such as the whole shadow approach, where we saw his first hit. Where you saw a shadow go across the window, then the doorway, then you saw him, and then it turned back to the shadow. I really enjoyed that. It's hard to say this without saying the negatives. So
That's fine, because I was going to harbor on that point. I also thought that's kind of good. It does make him seem mysterious and, dark and maybe good at this thing. And then the whole rest of the movie, he's like a gimmick and a prop of himself, like a caricature of pimp, badass, hitman, but mafioso.
He was almost Flanders. Oh, sorry.
I was just saying, to do it in that like noir way is weird because none of the rest of the movie is that way.
Yeah, he was almost Flanderized in his own one movie, which I don't think is possible, really. I don't. He quickly, almost immediately became a caricature of whatever, the mobster, hitman, whatever role he was actually playing, and then he was a kind of a boss man after a while. Doesn't matter. I enjoyed. It's funny, the murder scenes, the shooting scenes were good, but every time it wasn't a shooting scene, it felt like a slapstick comedy.
Exactly.
And that took away from the shooting and the hits that I thought, okay, this is okay, especially for the time. But then, they throw a punch and it looks like the worst thing ever recorded on film.
I don't know, even some of the shooting scenes, it just depends on. The ones they did right were the shooting was sort of off camera, or you're focused on the destruction of the wall. Yep. Yeah, it wasn't like someone getting murked. Every time they showed someone actually getting murked, it was really terrible. The overacting in this can't be understated.
No, again, it's kind of hard to not go into the negatives, but I'll still try and keep on the positives. I really enjoyed that transition where there was a Tommy gun and shooting the calendar.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was awesome.
Cool to have done on film in 32.
Mm-hmm.
If someone did that in a movie today, I would not be happy with it.
I think I'd be okay with it. It would just have to look a lot better. And you'd have to explain to me why a calendar looks like that in this day and age. And I do enjoy, I wouldn't even call it a journey, because there wasn't really a great destination, but I do enjoy the sort of ride you're put on for this movie. There's a clear, not a hero, but, again, I don't want to say journey or hero, but there's a clear path that the protagonist takes. And there's an obvious evolution of him going from, crony or whatever, henchman, to actually hitman, to actually boss man. And I did enjoy that, they did present that okay. It's just how they presented it and the scenes and almost all the dialogue and almost all the acting and almost all the music and even the sound recording felt harsh. I mean, I've watched old movies before, but this one felt especially harsh just with the background static and even the sound effects felt weird. Again, these might just be of the time kind of things. Uh I even enjoyed his trademarks, such as him whistling before a kill. It reminded me of Omar from The Wire, which I assume they completely ripped that, honestly. Um, but then that's kind of all my positives.
I mean, I
Took me about 3 minutes to get through
there's
those.
a lot of I was gonna say there's a lot of things I could talk about this movie. I don't know that any of them are like inherently positive or negative, so I'll sort of just go down my laundry list of things. But
Go for it.
in general, this was a fine movie. There was nothing horrendously offensive outside of the death sequences in which someone again looked like they were doing a performance art piece at their like school theater or something. It was like so overacted every time someone died, in particular with that very final death that I don't know. It was too much for me. Um Also, again, things being of the time, I feel like, and again, these might just be negatives, but I don't know where to throw them. Um the treatment of women is like classic for
Ugh,
1930s. Like first off, we have what, three women in this whole thing besides like
yeah.
some random people at bars or restaurants
Uh huh.
or events. And one is the sister,
Uh
one
huh.
is our sort of love interest that's really just like a prostitute question mark. I mean, not
Definitely a
that just a
prostitute.
prostitute, but like the whole shtick is that she's a prostitute, and like I guess dumb bozo is in love with a prostitute. Like none of it made sense. Like if the gag was like she isn't anything, but also she's beautiful and better than him, but also they're both bad people, and she also likes crime. Like the whole thing, I just couldn't tell what the point was because they were explicitly clear that the point of the movie was to point out what a problem it is to society at large and that the government needs to do
I
something.
was gonna get into that. I absolutely hated that. Talk about an intro text or an outro text. That was maybe the worst offender I've ever seen of just literally telling us what the message is. I, that
And not hitting it very well. Like
no.
that, like, did people think that this is what crime was like? Because I can guarantee you this is not what crime was like.
Also, I mean, kind of seemed pretty okay for the other criminals. Because if you notice, spoilers for this movie, if you notice, he dies and he kills the guy who's in love with the sister, right?
Uh
But
huh.
I mean, there was a whole when he went to help the other guy take over the organization. There's a whole slew of people that presumably didn't get killed, didn't get shot.
Right.
So I don't know. Oh, the bad guy gets it, sure, but what about the other bad guys? They didn't,
Right.
get
Well,
arrested and
and the whole thing with this, Capone era, big money, organized crime thing is it's exactly that. Is like the first US based, humongous organized crime racket.
right.
So, sure, taking out, the head in theory does it, but, the whole Hydra illusion is dead at this point. But
Yeah.
it's exactly that. Like, you have so much infrastructure in place. Even the cop alluded to it where it's like, oh, well, it's actually not illegal for them to have Tommy guns. It's illegal to buy Tommy guns. They just go across state lines and then bring them back over and blah, blah, blah. And you're
Yep.
like, okay, well, it's just stupid.
And I mean, that sounds pretty neato. I mean, let's just say I was a kid in the 30s and I see these rich guys are able to do whatever they want. Yeah, I might get shot at the end if I'm crazy, but it seems like it'd be kind of fun. Like, I don't know. This movie did not get its message across well at all because it literally just kind of punished the main guy for being stupid rather than punish him for being just a criminal. If he didn't do all these things, if he didn't act irrationally and kill his sister's lover or husband out of rage, he wouldn't have died. So it's not as though, oh, his crimes caught up with him. No, no, they didn't. He just was stupid. And then his sister called the cops, or whoever called the cops, and boom, bada bing, got arrested. So I don't know. I don't know. They want to stick it to this guy, and I don't know.
Well, on the same subject of like what is the meaning, because they even explicitly said it. This movie had an alternate ending.
Oh, really?
And apparently didn't pass censors in New York and Chicago, where again films were largely debuted and distributed. And so I can read you that ending.
Go for it.
Unlike the original ending, where he tries to escape the police and dies, he reluctantly hands himself over to the police. His face is not shown after the encounter, and a scene follows where a judge is addressing Tony during sentencing. The next scene, the finale, is Tony from a bird's eye view brought to the gallows and hanged. How does that, like, one, how is that worse than the dude getting shot 30 times?
Yeah.
And two, like from a censorship perspective, and two, how does that in any way, shape, or form like address the point of the movie better?
It doesn't really.
Right. And so then we're left with, I think they just don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, and them saying this is an indictment and the American government should do something. And it's just, I don't know. I think your money could have been better spent lobbying politicians. I don't know.
Right. Well, if we're gonna do that, money. This cost 18 mil in today's dollars.
It's not
Excuse me.
Small amount of money.
It cost 20. No, sorry. It did cost 18 mil in today's dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Math's hard. And then it made 13 mil. So again, lost about 6 mil.
That kind of tracks. I don't know. Because I don't even know if this is for, it's not for the auteur, the connoisseur, you know, and I don't think it's really for the casuals other than just, hey, you want to see some gangbangers? Just, I don't know, shoot people and do crimes and die at the end, because I assume in the 30s this wasn't a cliche, but at the same time, books and so it might have been a super cliche. People might have just been like, yeah, I know he's gonna die. Yeah, and back to some more specific negatives. Again, the overacting, awful. But why was there so much of an emphasis on comedy? What was that?
I think it's just probably movies at this time to sell tickets were like simple entertainment pieces and not like big political, hey, look at what we're doing here things. And so to keep people in the seats, they just probably had to do this pandering shit. And in particular, that like big old over the top Italian secretary, not secretary.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus Christ, was it painful?
Secretary, and it's, I mean, he had an accent, but you could understand the word secretary.
Not in 1932, you couldn't. If you didn't talk like this, boss, we didn't understand a fucking what you're saying.
Yeah, it's so weird. I mean, every other scene felt as though there was some joke or gag, and you know, people talk about, oh, Marvel writing, oh, that's a joke every scene, but you know, no.
But at least they're jokes. Yeah. They're jokes.
Yeah, this was that, and they weren't funny. Also, the sister didn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it just felt weird ancestral, which again maybe is like with it also a jab at like look how fucked up these people are type thing, but maybe, it was just weird.
But also, why did she side with him? I think they needed to do more groundwork for me to buy that. I mean, he just killed your husband, dog. You know, the guy you married, the guy you love, and I don't know. I just don't see her turning, you know, just flipping sides and saying, "Okay, well, he's my brother." You know, I don't. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, especially since he hadn't really done anything for her other than give her money. And I don't. It should have been more of a foil to him than it was, and instead she just kind of caved in, and that wasn't really effective in any way. Yeah, yeah, and also the ending. Can we talk about the ending, the bullet trajectory?
Yeah.
How did they shoot her from the ground?
Because freaking jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
I mean, if they had a level view, they could have just shot him. Had a sniper, because a police force would definitely probably have a scoped rifle somewhere, unless, it's bumfuck, whatever.
It's like New York City, no way.
Yeah, exactly. So they're definitely going to have, a World War I vet on hand who's got a good shot.
Chicago. It could have been Chicago. It was undescribed major city.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They would have had some war vet on there who was a crack shot sniper, man. And if they had the view to kill the sister, then they obviously had a view to shoot him. But then, oh no, they didn't have a view to shoot him. Well, then how'd they shoot the sister? And the trajectory doesn't make any sense unless they said, oh, it bounced or something, which, again, not the greatest explanation either. Bugged me.
They gave everyone automatic weapons, but like Tommy gun 1930s automatic weapons. So I can believe that the spray and pray thing would result in that type of arbitrary ricochet death, in particular when they have like the steel reinforced windows or whatever that quote unquote don't work. The bigger problem is, again, it's the 30s. Like, gun shootouts are that these gangs have now come up.
Sorry, you cut out there. Gun shootouts are what?
Not commonplace outside of, again, rare events amongst the organized crime people. And so why in the world do you have police officers shooting into a civilian building that clearly wasn't cleared because they only just got the warrant?
Right.
And just spray and praying a whole street.
Right. Yeah, I mean, even if he shot at you, they're... So, actually, you could actually even add another layer of illogic here, because he shoots at them. Okay, they return fire. Okay, there's some math there. But they get in the front door anyway.
Yep.
So why didn't you guys
barricaded? You
go through the front door anyway?
Is one cop life worth 10 civilian lives? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Let's just spray him, boys, just like he did other criminals, Who's the bad guy? It just, I don't know. It just, and yeah, he had a steel reinforced door, but guess what, dog? Guy needs to eat and stuff, and you already had tear gas. So, also, why'd you wait so long to put the tear gas? Whose great idea was that? All right, boys, put a few mags in his apartment complex, and then we'll start throwing the tear gas, okay? I mean, even the dumbasses during the Waco incident threw the tear gas first. Or wait, no, they didn't actually. No, they were dumb too. So yeah, I don't know what this is. Maybe it's accurate to real life, but I think tear gas should be the first thing, and then you shoot second. So I don't know. I didn't love the climax. It was just kind of hold up in his castle, last stand, kind of boring.
Mid-max. They maxed out the mids of the movie.
Mid-max, nice. Okay, I get you. I don't know. There's not even a lot to say about this movie.
No, I mean, I'm pretty set. I have a couple little bullshit things, but nothing else major.
Bullet trajectory, the intro credits sucked. Fight scenes suck. Overacting sucked. The comedy sucked.
Maybe it sucked? On a review, does it suck? Is it not mids? Does it just suck?
I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't my favorite at all.
I mean, I totally would lean on, arbitrary score system less than a middle. It wasn't perfectly mids. It was mids minus.
Yeah, and maybe it does just have a bulletproof steel door that is, 1932. Like maybe that is actually a good defense of this movie, but it doesn't mean it's good from a modern lens at all,
Right.
It doesn't
and in
save
particular,
the movie. It defends it.
Not to foreshadow too much, but I'm sure this is a based on what we've seen here, a reboot angle.
Oh yeah.
And so again, I haven't seen Scarface in a hot minute, so I can't say that with full confidence. Maybe it's way worse than I remember it being, but
maybe. don't
I
think it
cannot
is.
imagine that in the context of this pairing that this isn't just bad and that the remake was like well worth it.
Yeah, I think this is what we say 1/3 or whatever. I think we might be helping that
Right.
because this definitely probably 100% will in fact be a reboot and not a deboot. That's kind of I went through all my notes.
All right, couple rando pieces here. Rando one,
Hit me.
if you recall, one of the plot pieces from the beginning. I'm gonna blank on names here. The names are so bad in this too. That's like just a minor aside, but everyone was just Johnny, Tony, Jimmy, and Timmy.
All I remember is Poppy.
Yeah. Well, it was literally Johnny, Tony, Poppy. Like everyone had an I, E, or Y, E end. Camonte.
You know those Italians.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, the dude from like early on wants like $1,000 a day kind of thing. Do you recall this?
Who wants $1,000 a day? Which dude?
I'm someone.
The mustache man?
Someone, yeah, wants to get paid like $1,000 a day.
For what?
I don't remember. I was fixated on the numbers. This was a numbers thing.
Okay, go along with the numbers thing.
That in that he's equivalently asking for like $22,000 a day in today's money to do some like arbitrary bullshit, which is just crazy. Like crazy ask.
Yeah, but back then, crime. I don't know.
Yes, crime. Other arbitrary thing, which again we'll talk more about in the other one, but the pan to and then like real hard cut to the advertising thing.
Yeah, on the nose.
Well, is it? In what way do you think it's on the nose?
That he took it literally and thought the world was actually his.
Oh, okay, sure.
And the director thought, audiences are too stupid to remember that part. Then did the thing at the end. Why? What's your problem with it?
No problem with it. I was saying because for the next movie, they do that as an homage.
Yeah.
So then, are you also saying that in the next movie it's also that way?
Probably.
Okay.
I hope they at least don't do 2 shots of it. I was okay with the first shot of it. Made sense. Look at that view. World is yours. I take that literally. Okay, cool. But then when they did the second shot, it's okay. I get it. I remember. I didn't just, didn't just disappear.
Also, this is hilarious.
And I'm okay. Sorry.
No. Sorry. You go.
I was just going to say, and I'm pretty sure the Scarface video game, the 80s one, is called Scarface, The World Is Yours. Fun fact.
Interesting. What does that game entail?
It's just a third-person shooter. Just,
Classic.
I never played it. I just assume it's a shooter and you reenact Scarface. I don't know. Say hello to my little friend. Pop, 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 pop.
Now, movies back in this time period, what would you say they typically filmed over the course of? My understanding in my head is a different number than how long this took to film.
Back then, I don't know, 2 months.
Yeah, right? Like pretty quick, right? Like a couple weeks to set up some stages and whatnot. It's a couple weeks to hire people.
Yeah, I mean, because they reused a lot of sets too.
Yeah, like this took 6 months to film. Maybe
there's some reshooting there, because I don't even understand what would take 6 months to film that. Maybe some of the action scenes.
No, it's because it turns out most of the prop guns were just guns.
Hell yeah, that's how we did it.
So filming any scene that required like actually shooting bullets required them to get like clearance to shoot the sets, and then having people that like weren't actually people, like it's a whole fucking to do.
I mean, pretty hardcore if you think about it.
So then for every violent scene, basically you have to clear the sets, fire machine guns, and then reshoot the same scene with people and like fake little explosions and obviously not shooting them.
Huh. That sounds like a pain in the ass to shoot instead of just prop gun effect.
Yeah, which is just crazy.
True. Yeah, 6 months seems like a while.
The funny thing is that the reason why you did not remember that $1,000 a day thing is because I gaslit myself into trying to remember that happening at the beginning of the movie. That was one of the writers requested being paid $1,000 a day to remain a writer because he thought whatever the fucking director's name is, Howard Hawks, was a fraud.
Well, after watching this movie, I don't know if that assumption was entirely off.
But that means one
hell yeah,
writer
bro.
of the four is getting paid $21,000 a day.
You know, is that the guy who did the story and then didn't get the credit for the dialogue and the continuity? Because that'd be fun.
I could try to fact check that. What was his name? Hecht.
I mean, that'd be funny if he said,
"Yeah, that's the story guy." Story guy.
So he did the story and said, "Keep me on, I'll do it." And they said, "No fucking way." We have 3 interns who can do the dialogue. Okay, we don't need you. Any Letterboxd reviews?
There sure are, and I accidentally closed them out while looking at that last thing to pull up the Scarface fact check. Whoops.
Wow.
Pander. Bad lib.
I mean, I could talk about my predictions for the 80s one, and we could segue out of that. I think they could fix a lot with this movie. They could make Poppy the prostitute more interesting. They could make his actions and his supporting cast less comedic and stupid characters. They could make him more relatable. You know, because Scarface wasn't really relatable at all. He just seemed like a punk, and a stupid punk at that, and a stupid irrational punk at that, and there was no reason for it. You know,
Agreed.
Why was he irrational? Why was he angry? There's nothing. If they had a scene, maybe him growing up, and they show his dad beating him, you know, I'd say, okay, I kind of get his characterization, or maybe he just got this shit kicked out of him when he was a kid or something like that. And they might have had a passing line, but there's no actual groundwork to give you this aggressive, stupid character. Instead, it just kind of lets you assume, yeah, he's stupid and crazy. He's crazy like that, you know? And they could fix that. They could get rid of his mother and sister entirely.
You don't have to keep pandering. I'm here.
No, good. Well, I'm predicting for the 80s one.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. They could fix these things. I think modernizing it is super easy. I mean, we kind of already know how they modernize it, but there's nothing here inherently that makes it have to be stuck in this time period other than moonshine, which is, you know, you can get around that with drugs. It's super easy.
My prediction, it's clearly going to be better. I think I'm going to hate Al Pacino, but love Tony Montana.
Yeah, so you love Al Pacino.
Nope. All right, some letterboxes. You ready?
Hold on. Trying to think of anything they could improve upon. Hopefully the fight scenes are a little better. Hopefully the murder scenes are a little better.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the very first murder scene is gonna top this whole movie.
And I swear to God, if we get a text intro that says, "Oh, the Colombians let cocaine into America, and this is an indictment," I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna throw a fit. But okay, I think that's all my projections. I also think the music could be better because the music was pretty lacking in this one.
Just very generic, of its time.
Yep, generic of its time, did nothing special. All right, Letterboxd.
All right.
Unless you have a prediction.
Nope. Okay. Saying this was good and all, but Al Pacino wasn't that good. I mean, you barely even see him in this movie. His performance was so forgettable. Honestly, where even was he?
Ayo.
All the shooting. I love that stuff. You know, the killing, a lot of killing. Basically a supercut of Tommy guns and wild gangster behavior. This is almost 90 years old, and it absolutely rips.
I don't know.
Last one.
I don't know if rips is the right word.
Fuck Tony, man. So yeah, no one watches old movies that don't suck. And I'm talking to you, audience, listener, because you watch this shit.
I mean, I don't know if they'd watch this shit after hearing this, but
don't. If you made it this far in, please don't listen to it. And if you made it to the part where we said spoiler alert and then decided to watch it, that was on you.
Yeah, definitely on you. Big waste of time.
Because we called it mids. We already called it mids.
That is true. Yeah, kind of led with the lead right there. But yeah, I think that's it for me. It's so weird. I feel like we've barely talked, and yet I don't know.
It's probably been half an hour.
It has been 30 minutes and 37 seconds as I'm speaking. So that'll do it for part 1. Are you done?
I'm done.
All right.
See you at the better movie.
Well, hopefully. I mean, if it's not a better movie, we're gonna have a stern talking to Brian De Palma. But we will see you in a few seconds in part 2 to talk about Scarface 1983. And we're back here to talk to you about Scarface 1983, directed by Brian De Palma and written by Oliver Stone. Big picture, go.
Ugh, a better movie, but also so problematic and so full of things I dislike in not only this type of movie, but
you can't start a review out with problematic
80s movies in general. Yeah, I think I can. I just did.
It's problematic, really, when you start a review.
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
Definitely better. Is that all?
You want to hit some specifics? Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna come back to the big picture and say, I guess I didn't really understand how influential this movie was to other things that adopted the whole Miami thing. I guess it's not really big picture, doesn't matter. But yeah, I think if we want to spoil this episode of the podcast, it's definitely a reboot for sure. But that's all I can say about it, honestly. There's some positive things, but if I'm looking at a big picture, it's good. It's good.
Yep. I mean, yeah, it's fine. It's a fine movie. It's watchable. Yeah. It borders on being pretty good, but it's good. It's good.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to get us hanged by the cinephiles, like our opinion on Citizen Kane. I don't know if this movie as revered or as jacked off, but I'm not sure. Could be.
I mean, if you call yourself a cinephile, you probably deserve to have no one care about your opinion on movies.
I mean, that's true. That's, yeah. Just it's a tough term, really, to get around. But, yeah, specifics. What you got?
All right. Well, the good. Despite
bad and the ugly,
the accents, Al Pacino kind of kills it. I mean, this cool role. He does a great job. There's lots of drunken, coked up fuckery that he portrays very well. But, I mean, the acting is pretty top tier for the most part. And again, his accent's egregious, but so many other people's accents are way worse. So he kind of almost sells the fact that he's not Cuban. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
At least he tried, you can really tell he at least took the time to try and learn the mannerisms and all that. However heavy-handed it might be.
Yeah, Mang.
Yeah, Mang. It almost reminded me of, I guess it won't matter to you, but Razor Ramon, who's a professional wrestler. Pretty sure he was just doing a Scarface, accent.
Bit?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's doing that the entire time. Even though I think his character's from Puerto Rico. Doesn't matter. But yeah, I mean, you can't say the acting's bad. That's one thing I won't deny. There might have been a couple actors who weren't the greatest or anything, but I was never taken out of the movie because of the acting. So that's a pretty good positive, honestly. Pretty good positive.
Yeah, I would say, only one instance in which I was taken out of the movie, and it was the first time I heard someone's accent, because I was like, wait, huh? But we'll get to that in the negatives. Another positive on my list, despite an egregious runtime of 170 minutes, this kept its pace very well.
Yeah.
I was decently on board the entire time, not questioning how much longer is it going to be. It was engaging. The action was necessary to break up a lot of the like kind of useless story. Like the story didn't matter at all, and the jumps in time didn't matter at all. It was mostly just like, is more cool shit going to happen, and are we going to keep escalating this anxiety and drug laden bullshit until obviously the finale, which warrants its own separate bullet and
Yeah.
lengthy discussion. But
Well,
yeah, I mean,
weirdly
I was
enough,
happy with the pacing and the runtime.
I honestly, even though it was 2 hours, 240 or whatever, I honestly thought they could have fit more in, which sounds crazy.
Right,
But
that's what I mean.
yeah, it's not as though it left me, begging for the credits. So the fact that I wanted more means it was effective. I'd rather want more than, again, beg for the credits to just start rolling. Uh,
Right.
but the way they built this world, I think, was super effective. This version of Miami, which every single thing copied this and then just made. I don't know if they copied it per se or if Miami really had this vibe at the time, but
No,
it
it did.
seems
It did.
like everything I've ever seen used this template, or at least, was guided by Scarface's portrayal of it. And it felt like kind of a living, breathing city. And that just kind of helps ground maybe the over the topness, the exaggeration to it all. It just helps give it kind of I don't know, an opposition so that you feel settled in. And then when the big things happen, they're actually big instead of just, oh, a big explosion for some reason or shootout for some reason.
Right.
You're able to just kind of hold on for the ride. And it's pretty okay ride. Not bad. Not bad really at all, honestly.
This is a little aside, but since you brought it up,
Might
one
as
of my
well.
points that isn't like a technical positive or negative is just like interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like I hear commonly in various media I consume, whether it's podcasts, other movies, just like friends/family talking about relative American history. Like 1980s Miami is this, right? Like that's like the head canon. Would you
Right.
agree?
But is it
Coke,
this?
right? Yeah, Coke, you know, big money, fucking cars, women, clubs, like that thing.
Suits with the sleeves rolled up.
But this came out in 83. So they only had 3 years for this to define Miami. Is kind of crazy.
That's
Right?
all.
Of a 10-year decade. I'm like, was this really like late 70s, early 80s and everyone just because of this movie calls it 80s headcanon?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. How much of this movie influenced Miami rather than the
Right.
other way around?
Yeah, I would agree. It's probably closer to 50-50 than what I think again the general portrayal of this era would have you guess.
And this movie just took it up a notch. Everybody in Miami or all the tourists in Miami started to wear Scarface clothing. It just had to have happened without a doubt in
Right.
my mind.
Right, because he's cool, it's badass, and it is topical. So yeah, why would you not try to emulate that? Like you see it all the time in again, insert rap artist new video,
Right.
insert, various pop
Yeah, so
culture
maybe
things
that's
that just
actually a pretty impressive feat, really, when we can't even tell what's the real Miami or what's the exaggerated Scarface Miami. So, I mean, I
right.
don't know, pretty good. Also, I think the camera movement, the direction was really cool. How they went like there are a lot of tracking shots and the sky view shot from the apartments when they're doing that first deal, and you get to see the woman hanging over the car hitting on his best friend. Uh,
Yep.
I enjoyed that a lot because it kind of gave you a, oh, they're so far away kind of vibe, even though they're in the apartments right next to them. I think a lot of the camera movement and the shots were very effective. Maybe not anything superb, nothing I'm gonna remember forever, at least. Or the way they did mirrors, classic Ikiru and Living. They did some pretty cool mirror shots. But yeah, I mean, it's got a good flow, got a good direction. I even like the score at times, and at times I didn't like the score.
Yeah, sometimes it's a little like too annoying electronic dance music shit, but
Right. I mean, I put on my negatives, but I'll just bring it up now. The push it to the limit montage was hilarious. Because I've seen so many parodies of that by now that, oh yeah, this was actually a real quote unquote cool thing that
Right.
people have
The
just
original
made
feels
fun
like a
of.
parody.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So when he's just, killing people doing drugs and push it to the limit, hilarious. I mean, just it was very funny. Kind of took me out of the movie, but that's not the movie's fault. Or I don't know, the vibe was kind of weird still, but still, whatever. I'm not gonna blame the movie, and also enjoyed, a lot of the pace, or not the pacing, but the plot beats. I enjoyed what they took from the original Scarface a lot. It seems as
Oh yeah.
though they
The
took,
sister and everything.
yeah, they took a lot of elements and then just used it. They didn't necessarily flip it over on its head. They didn't necessarily change everything. A lot of the same exact bullet points, and yet it's a totally different movie.
Well, yeah, but they also dialed it all up, right? I mean, the relationship with the sister is they're estranged, but now he's seeing her both as like, again, a woman to love and also like a prized possession to keep polished.
Yeah,
The
keep
best
pure.
friend, you have like a history with that person.
Yeah, that
So
was a lot better.
their death is a lot more meaningful than just like, I told you not to sleep with my sister, you bitch, get shot. It's like, this is my literal ride or die, and I just fucking murked him because he slept with my sister who's an adult.
And I also love that visual pattern of when he sees his sister being promiscuous, and it just made that high pitched kind of shrill tone and
Yeah,
zoomed in on his eyes.
did that also feel like a callback to like The Shining or something? I feel like that exact like sound and like zoom into the face, like when you watch.
I'm gonna just assume that was kind of a common technique by that time. They happened to use it in a pattern and used it, explicitly better. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but it's
I
like
think
3 years
zoom
apart. To
in.
me, it just felt like
I don't know.
oddly sort of similar.
I don't know. I'm sure we could look up movies or it might take a while. We'd have to ask the AI
Right.
or something.
Some cinephile figured that out already and already made this conjecture.
Chat GPT or something. Yeah, I'm sure.
Other
Maybe.
positives oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just was gonna say maybe not a reference, maybe just a similarity.
Right. But yeah, maybe stylistically of the time people did this.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Other positives, I agree. The cinematography was great. I think the set design, obviously,
oh yeah,
sick.
oh
like,
yeah.
The way they actually shot a lot of these villas and mansions, and they didn't just cut clearly a bunch of different like separate houses and foyers and buildings together. It really felt like they sort of had a location and they filmed all around that location. It felt sort of like fluid scene to scene, where you would do these like long trackings across the banister, down the stairs, down that hallway to the front step, where you were like, oh shit, this is like a fucking actual mansion.
Yeah, they had to have rented out mansions. And I do wonder how much was shot in Miami, because it seemed as though, just maybe this is again a testament to their filmmaking, it seemed as though a lot of it was shot in Miami. Maybe, maybe that's just again them being skilled at what they do to convince me of such. But I don't know. I couldn't tell you what shots weren't in Miami and what were. So I think that's really that's the litmus test for good location, good set design, what have you. And even the costuming, gotta shout that out. All the characters
Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
It was entirely shot in Los Angeles except for one Fountain Blue Miami Beach shot where they were outside and he's like doing his tongue out.
Huh.
And the big McMansion is in Santa Barbara, California, but it's like a known Spanish mansion.
Huh. Well, more you know. I mean, that's the set designers. They work hard. Unsung heroes, really. And also unsung heroes, the costumers, as I was saying. Each character felt as though they're their own character just by looking at them. You could pick out these characters. Okay, Scarface has got that style, the oversized jackets and such. The Lopez, he had like was Lopez the mustache man? Frank Lopez or something?
I'm not.
Lopez had the flashy, he had the gold, the silver, the watches. Then you had the friend who was kind of either always in a wife beater, but it looked like he had nice clothes, but he was never as nice as Tony. So there was a great juxtaposition of, okay, I know this guy just by looking at him. I know what this character is about just by looking at him. And there's just there is there's something to be said. It's commendable that they're able to do that without going crazy. Like, oh, this character has blue hair, so that's that character. This character has, a super long white beard or something. But the actual costuming.
Oh yeah, Frank Lopez is the boss. Not yeah, I know who you're talking about with the mustache. Yes, and agreed.
Also say, unless you have more, I mean, I have more pauses, but
Keep
if you
going.
wanted to take a turn, okay. I also think this descent into madness is way more effective than the original.
Oh yeah, I mean the other one felt more like the character just being himself the whole time and finally getting to utilize that.
Right.
This one feels like he's a little crazy and clearly does want to take over the world, but he's not like actually certifiably insane. And then he just is shooting people in the car and
Straight up
being a
going
fucking
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, coked out, blown out, and even the way they did that, I guess the makeup when he's in the car and he shoots the assassin, he looks fucking crazy.
Yeah, he looks
there's a
insane.
look to him, yeah. And so even visually, it's great how they were able to do this descent into madness, which again, the original, not so much. And as I'm thinking about this, you know how was it last week? Yeah, last week we said Sorcerer might be better if we hadn't seen Wages of Fear.
Right.
Or not last week, last episode. This episode, it feels as though Scarface is better because we've seen Scarface 32.
Agreed.
So I wonder, I don't know, there's something weird about that. Maybe a good reboot's just a good reboot when you think about it. Also enjoyed.
Hopefully.
Also
hopefully
enjoyed,
that's how that works.
Yeah, the bigger intro explaining why we care about this character at all or why his ambitions are the way they are. I think I talked about it, the first half of this episode where I was saying we didn't really get a why or a how. It gives it to us, even though through a text intro, it doesn't matter. Whatever, not going to talk about it. But it gives us an intro to the why and the how. And this is why Tony wants the fucking world. He wants to grab it by the balls or whatever. He wants to make it his own. And there's actually something driving him. Whereas the original is just, he's a gangster and he wants more money. That's it.
So it goes sometimes, man.
Any more positives? I have just about two.
I do, but it ties in specifically to the ending, and that's also where my negatives are going to want to kick off. So, unless you have something non-ending related,
then I'll add this last one. And we already touched on it really, but I think the sister character was way more dynamic and influential. Actually, had an impact. Whereas
she wasn't the classic, female trope of some hot lady not talked about, which Michelle Pfeiffer was, but
yeah, but she did it well. Actually, they did her well too. She seemed like she actually had a mind of her own and not just whatever she was in the original. I don't know. But yeah, I just think the characters, even his mom, I mean, I think every single character in this movie is a vast improvement over the original. And what that says about either Oliver Stone or maybe the original, I don't know. Just telling it like it is,
Right, yeah, just calling him as I see him.
Yeah, and then my last positive is the ending, so go for it.
All right. I mean, a number of cool things to be talked about, a number of positive things to be talked about, and a number of outright what the fuck things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the ending for me starts sort of after he meets with the henchman dude to kill the guy, and they're gonna blow up the family, and he's like, fuck no, boom, kills him. Like that whole thing is sort of towards the end for me. It builds and builds and builds, and that tension and craziness rises up until now, coked out of his mind, best friend gone, sister nowhere to be found. We have the ending and the climax. And so way better execution of the execution, I guess, him killing Manny and Gina freaking out and that whole thing.
Yep.
And then he goes back home and he just literally has a mountain of coke on his desk, plunges his head in. I mean, just badass. Just like insane badass.
Yeah.
Busts out a gun as he realizes he's getting raided. Sosa's finally gonna get him. and has a fucking grenade launcher and is just shooting a grenade launcher in his house. I mean, like, they really know how to do the over the top, almost comedic violence in a way that is not like disturbing to me.
No, I think it fit perfectly with the tone and what we were given just from the get go, for sure.
Right. The negatives here are that why, even though they were there, why did they have to explicitly address the weird sexual undertones? Like, it just made it so weird when Gina's like stripping in front of him,
See,
because
okay, I'll add to this. Keep going.
it doesn't. I don't know that it adds to anything other than it's crazy. Which, sure, that's fine. The movie's crazy. It got crazy, but I don't know that that was like inherently seemed like her character. And again, though there was weird sexualized elements of his control over her, I don't know that that was like vital to his character. And it does strike me as him like he would have been shocked by her interpretation of his control of her that way, especially when even Manny is like he views you more like a father.
Right.
So that's my 2 cents on that.
I wanted to add to this because I enjoyed that just kind of, oh wow, they're going all in. But at the same time, it's kind of like they couldn't make up their mind whether they wanted to do that or not. Because
That's what I
like you
mean.
said, like they should have either went full brute force, fucking I'm disgusted kind of thing,
Yeah,
or
like she could have
not
gotten
done it.
naked and like yeah,
Yeah,
been like
I
extra weird, like
I
gone over to
actually
grope him with the gun to his head,
I
like
actually think that would be better.
right.
Or maybe she, guides the gun, like he's holding a gun and she guides it to his head, kind of like that. Just something. But yeah, I actually think they should have committed more to that because, like you said, it was weird because she's like a father, yada, yada. And we didn't even get to see his response to it, which kind of, what's the point, like before he can even respond, she gets shot, and then he's like, "Please don't leave me, yada yada,
Right,
don't
right.
die."
Then exactly. When she's clearly dead, then he's like now so disillusioned that he's talking to her like she's still living and just like resting and he's gonna be back for you and I love you, but like he didn't hear her at all, and her fucking last
Yeah,
moments were like for nothing.
yeah. We saw his response to her death, but not to the really fucked up thing she did. So honestly, I think they should have gone further with that, and it also makes me view people who think Scarface is a badass super weirdly now.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, he's a badass, but like, you want to fuck his sister, dog. That's the
Yeah.
poster you want on your wall? I mean,
Well, see, I
okay.
think my negatives here are probably what people actually think is badass, and I just think is stupid. But the dude got shot like 45 times
Oh yeah,
and
no,
he's
super
just
stupid.
moving his arms and screaming at them. I was like, are you joking, guys? And
But
then it just
again,
takes
it
that
does
one
have,
enforcer dude to shoot him in the back. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
I got a thing about that too. But it also is that cartoonish violence that was established throughout a lot of the movie, maybe not as cartoony, but I think I would have liked if he tried to raise his arms up and couldn't or something like that, you know?
Right. Like he was actually injured. He basically took multiple gunshot wounds and was not injured. He was just
Yeah,
bloodied.
his skin was just made of Kevlar or something, and he's just, come on, we can do this all day or whatever he said.
Right.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool if he tried, it almost be kind of a visual representation of his character, as if he tried to take all the bullets and just fucking couldn't. Then I also have a problem with the shotgun thing. That slow walk towards him was the stupidest thing in the world
Yeah,
because
the slow everything, the slow ascent on the rope ladder that again, maybe 20 feet or whatever, like did not take the whatever, 2 grenade launcher reloads, 1 M16 reload,
right.
multiple go for covers, multiple his bodyguards getting shot. Like it does not take that long to climb that 20-foot rope ladder, especially if you're again some fucking goon agent of chaos.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but yeah, my problem was kind of the assassination itself because I don't know. Yeah, he gets shotgun in the back, but it didn't really add anything other than just me waiting for him to die. It didn't add attention. It was just, okay, he's getting shot. Just, all right, he's been shot 80 times. It's
Right.
not as though he's making it out of this one.
Right. Yeah,
And
I was
yet,
under no
yeah,
pretense that he was surviving the 80 gunshot wounds to the front of his body, but the back. Ah,
yeah.
yes.
Then they insist on this epic, slow walk up towards him. Kapowie! It didn't add anything to it. I will
No.
say positive about the ending.
Hmm, hmm.
It made so much more sense.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I think the ending's actually overall good. It just is where my negatives mostly lie for the movie.
Yeah, because it wasn't just the cops fucking firing every bullet they had at your apartment building. It was the drug cartel that he was, in cahoots with to kill the Lopez and F. Murray Abraham. And I didn't realize he was in this movie. But
Me neither.
but yeah, it makes a lot more sense just narratively, and it's a lot more cohesive than the original. I don't know, the original kind of, now that I've seen this one, the original kind of feels rushed.
Yeah. Yeah. The
And
original's very 30s.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, I think that's most of my points. Did you have more to add?
Well, I do. I have a couple more.
I wasn't even
Still
gonna
on the
talk about
ending.
the accents and F. Murray
No,
Abraham.
I'm going to. I'm going to.
Okay.
Don't worry. I have to. I can't not. Um, so this guy, the skull or whatever, the dude who shoots him in the back,
Yeah, sure.
I
The drug man.
can't understand. If they were going to do this whole thing, right? That he's indestructible. The only way to die is by some big badass shooting him in the back. Why
Mhm.
not do like a literal backstabbing and have established again, F.
Oh,
Murray
that could have
Abraham
been a
S
callback
character who,
to
yeah, who
the
like
first
actually stabs him.
assassination.
Right. You see what I'm
Oh,
saying?
cool. Yeah, that would have been
But
cool.
they chose not to do anything like metaphorical or callbacks or referential or bookendy. They just went, hey, some dude, and we're going to give him a name even though you've never heard his name before, and he's going to be the one who kills him. And then he's going to fall, and you're going to see that world is yours thing again. And you're like, okay, I guess that's a bookend, kind of.
Maybe they thought it was too on the nose, stabbed in the back kind of thing. That's my only logical conclusion for that. And they said, "Oh, we
Um,
we can't do a literal stabbed in the back. It's got to be a
right,
shotgun,
right.
or something like that." Yeah, keep going.
Um, then accents, guts to F. Murray Abraham, whatever. Don't care that much. Sure, they call him Omar Suarez. At no point did he sell me he was Hispanic in any way, shape, or form.
Was he wearing dentures too? His teeth looked really weird.
Oh, I did not notice his teeth.
They just looked, I don't know, big and white, just inhuman.
But if you had to guess how many Hispanic and or, Spanish ancestry people and or, native Central American people there are in this film that have like a named character that you could probably identify, how many do you think there are?
I assumed the best friend's the only one.
I mean,
He
close. There's
seemed
a
like he had
second
the most
one.
natural accent. It wasn't over the top, but it sold the character.
The second one is Tony's mom, who I would call a very side
Oh,
character.
yeah, 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 yeah. I didn't think about it. Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone else that's like, again, the
The
sister,
sister,
the.
is she of Cuban descent, or
No,
does she have an
no,
excuse to be this bad?
no.
Her
She's like
accent was
Italian.
just crazy.
She's like Italian Chicago, dude. Like, not like classic, Godfather e role, classic Al Pacino movie role, but
Right.
not Cuban, not Hispanic, not Colombian. And then the biggest offender of all was Paul Shinar, the drug lord Sosa.
Oh,
Do you recall his accent at all?
not really. No, I
Oh
didn't even
my
think
god,
about it.
dude. No, you're going to have to open it back up and watch it. I promise you, we'll do it after this recording. Holy shit. He talks like an English, like 1950s radio announcer. Oh, Tony, hey.
Right.
And you're
He
like,
did
wait,
have that
huh?
inflection. Yeah.
And he's a Bolivian drug lord.
Radio
And,
or
well,
something.
I noticed they did try to slice through it for a half second where they were like, oh, he went to school in London. But I'm
There
like,
you go.
no, you
Checkmate.
don't obliterate a Hispanic accent or not talk to a Cuban born person in Spanish. Okay. So the justification for English would be you, or at least accented English, and you do business in English. But don't give me this no accent, actual super fucking American ass accent. It was ridiculous.
You know, honestly, after about 20 minutes of Al Pacino, I felt like I was immune to
Yeah,
accents.
you're accent immune. Yeah.
I mean, he laid it on thick. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, of course, but it was
But like
thick
even
for the
Frank,
whole
dude.
movie.
But even
Did Frank
Frank, his
even
accent's
try an
terrible.
accent? I feel
I
as
think he
though,
kind of did. I think every once in a while they would kind of. Or again, it is kind of a Miami thing to like throw Spanglish around.
right.
So like that's not I'm not anti that, but you can't have the last name Lopez
Yeah,
and
that's
sound
the
like
problem.
me
Yep.
and be the drug lord. You know?
And
Like I'll accept
again,
that I'm a
oops.
Pina and I
Mhm.
should have maybe an accent, but I'm also not a Miami drug lord in the 80s selling to other like Hispanic men. So
And again, the sister, bro, I couldn't tell if she knew when to do the accent, you know. I don't know if they had anyone on set help her out at all. It felt as though she had hard kind of, Northern American accent and then just Spanish out of nowhere.
yep.
It just I don't know, it felt as though it depended on I don't know, just the single word or something. Just she said, you know what, this line sounds pretty Spanish or something. I couldn't tell you because it was on, off, on, off. It was kind of hard to. I honestly, for a second, was thinking, are they blood brother or are they blood siblings? You know, is it kind of something like that? But yeah, they, brother sister. Um, what other? I mean, weirdly enough, again, as crazy as it sounds, the accents really weren't terrible, other than I guess a couple characters.
I'm telling you, you were immune to this also one at some point, but that was clearly the most egregious. It was way worse than the sisters.
I don't know. I guess so. But the best friend,
Um,
his accent was great.
no, because he's fucking Cuban.
Well, that makes sense. Well, that totally tracks. So,
Stephen Bauer, born Esteban Ernesto Echevarria Sampson,
yeah,
is a Cuban American actor. Yeah, you fucking bet your ass he's born in Havana, dude.
his accent is flawless, honestly.
Dude, the whole look, the mannerisms, I was like, that's my cousin. That's my cousin Manny. I know that guy.
And honestly, I bet a lot of people jack off Pacino's performance, but he might have been the best performance just period.
Oh yeah, way better character, super cool. Loved every second. Like the epitome of like guys and bros before hoes, except at the end obviously when he gets murked for going anti-bro code.
Right.
It's like the straight man's wet dream character, I feel like.
Well, he also, and honestly, I actually kind of liked his development of where he became more sympathetic as the movie went on, whereas Tony became more unsympathetic as time went
Right.
on.
Right. He balanced the sort of egomaniacal Tony.
Whereas, again, in the original, we got none of that. The best friend was just evil, banged the sister, got killed.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
one,
Goon who was banging the sister behind the back. That's it.
This one, we got literally everything we need to know about the best friend character within, I don't know, 10 minutes. And it was established. We knew it. Okay, I get this guy. Was that it? I don't have any more notes. Oh, intro text. Fuck intro text forever.
Yep.
Fuck that.
Yep. Wait, and it was more than intro text too, right? It was intro text and then multiple like that typeface of the newspaper when they're in the camp, and then all the text of like 3 months later. Like there's multiple.
I mean, I can understand the 3 months later text. That's fine.
I know. I'm just saying there's multiple text on screen. It wasn't just intro text. Then there was the typeface of the newspaper, and there was still the here's how we're going to fast forward time, and not just like do a long, shit. What are those called? The fades, fade in, fade outs. There's a word for that. Lap dissolves. No, like long lap dissolves or anything. Just here we'll put some more text on your screen.
Right. And also, weirdly enough, I feel as though the intro text was especially horrendous just because of the amount of information it gave you. It really could have just said, the bottom of the screen could have just said Cuban refugee camp.
Yep.
And I would have said, oh, okay, Castro, refugees, Cuba. Okay, makes sense to me.
Right. Got it.
But
Locked in.
instead, they had this whole page of just Cuban, politics or why Fidel was kicking people out. It just didn't make. I mean, not that it didn't make sense. It could have been executed way better. And any special notes before you want to letterbox a couple?
Yep. Special notes. Budget. There are only rough estimates. It's a range anywhere from 23 to 40 mil. Box office 66. So,
Ooh.
Shocker. Made some money, but not a ton. Money, but also 83. So,
so it was like a huge fucking success.
Right. It's like 250 mil. So, yeah, not bad. Smaller points, but not only is F. Murray Abraham in the movie, did you notice Richard Belzer?
Who's Richard Belzer?
Law and Order SVU Munch or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
As the stand-up comic.
Yep. Was he a comedian originally, then went to acting? Something in my brain was telling me that was the case or something.
I didn't know that, but yes, apparently that is true.
Okay, that's what I was. And then also the assassin that the cartel or whatever drug kingpin sent. That's the guy from Breaking Bad, the wheelchair uncle. You've seen Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah, I have. I'm just trying to think.
The ringing the bell. Ring. People listening know exactly who I'm talking about, just so we're clear. He's in this movie. And I just want to add just a random 3 notes.
Go for it.
Or actually 2 notes. One is this what Republicans think every immigrant is like?
Yep.
They think they're all Tony. Because, if every immigrant was like Tony, okay, I could sort of understand their views, but it's pretty funny. And then also at the end, it said special thanks to Howard Hawks, which is the director of the original. So that was neat. That was neat.
But it also included Ben Hecht, the writer.
Oh, nice. So yeah, that's cool that they actually, shout out the actual creator of the original. That's a really dope, good move. Classy, honestly. Classy move. Letterboxd or anything?
Oh yeah, Letterboxd. I thought you had more to say.
I said 2. That was it. Republicans and Howard Hawks. My 2 favorite things in the world.
I got 3 of them here. They're the most popular ones.
Great, hit me.
He did, in fact, have a scar on his face.
Oh shit, he did.
This has to be the most straight man movie to exist. And agreed.
That's I co-sign that one. That's totally fair.
I don't know where Brokeback Mountain falls into the spectrum of canon, but this is near the opposite end of that.
Is it the opposite end of Brokeback? I don't know. There wasn't enough sex and, tits and stuff.
I mean, that's fair, but that could just be like 80s coded where things like that got called like pornographic or like those like sex comedies, which was like a distinct genre.
There's gotta be something out there that has more, right?
I mean, I'm sure there's something out there that has more.
Not hot women getting,
I'm not sure in the 80s, or at least early 80s, the censorship allowed like too many titties is the thing.
Action movie with titties in the 80s. It's pretty niche category, really. Well, maybe not actually, but in my mind, it's a niche category. Maybe not the actual production of such.
And then, not that we need much more discussion on this film, but this one confused me, so I thought it was worth repeating because I can't understand it. That mountain of cocaine on Tony's desk, that's a metaphor for what the entire movie feels like. So the movie feels like an entire mountain of cocaine on a desk, or the movie feels like you just did a mountain of cocaine? I can't tell what that means. I don't know why it's so heavily enjoyed, that comment.
But spoilers to anyone listening, this is not what cocaine feels like.
Yeah, spoilers. Lo and behold, that killing people, selling drugs, and generally being a piece of shit is not the feeling one has when on cocaine.
Yeah, you'd probably be better suited watching the movie Crank or just something dumb like that. That's probably, or a Steven Soderbergh movie, you know, a lot of his movies. There's better movies for that metaphor for sure.
I forgot my one random comment because I don't really think it's necessarily like a positive as much as it is like I was happy that it paid off.
Well, it's how
but say hello to my little friend.
Yeah,
is good. That is a good line, and I'm glad it kept in the zeitgeist. Well, because I remember why he says it. You know, he pulls out a gun and starts shooting people, but I couldn't remember in what context in the movie it happened. And so at peak derangement, coked out of his mind, he's like, fuck you guys. I'm locked behind this door, but I'm about to grab my gun and I'm about to fucking shoot you with a grenade launcher.
Yeah, I mean, it totally fit. It was a perfect kind of, not even really setup, just kind of a nice cherry on top of the whole thing, that line. And I actually forgot to mention this earlier, but when you said the climax started, it did have this kind of sense that it's as though it lit a fuse, you know? And then the explosion is when he said, "Say hello to my little friend," you know?
Right.
And
yeah,
there's something to be said about that. So honestly, I think this movie went to pretty good to good, or good to pretty good. I don't know where that line is, but I think it actually got a little better talking about it.
I would agree with that. And definitely a reboot.
Oh yeah, reboot for sure. I would never suggest the original in my life.
I mean, only because it makes this one better. If you like this movie, go watch the first one so you can like this one more.
Yeah, you got to know what you got, you know? You got to appreciate what others don't. But I think that does it for us. Does it do it for us?
That does it for me.
All right, that's been episode 7 of Reboot or Deboot. Join us next time on episode 8 where we review Key of Life 2012 and Luck Key from 2016. As always, I'm Noah Davis.
I'm John Peanut.
And we're out of here.
Peace.
They're the worst. They're the worst.